Currently, I'm working on a Fire Emblem video, a Resident Evil 7 video, a discussion on video game preservation, and analyses and critiques of The Legend of Korra, Berserk, Cowboy Bebop, and Gankutsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo. I basically work on whatever I feel like at any given time because making videos is fun and I have attention issues, so what's one more project?
Carry me home. Both know I can't make it on my own. Carry me home. It's time to go home.
The Pokémon series is deeply nostalgic for me, or to be more specific, Pokémon as a concept is nostalgic for me, as it basically is for anybody who had a Nintendo handheld from the years whatever to now. Yet, I very rarely return to the older games, not even the ones that I grew up with. Those being Gens 3 and 4 from playing them, and Gens 1 and 2 from watching my older cousins play them. The first video game console I ever owned was a Game Boy Advance, which has unfortunately left this world, having been borrowed by someone I haven't seen since 3rd grade. And the first game bought for me was a copy of Pokémon Sapphire. I still have that old cartridge with my original save file on it. As I write this script, the last time I turned on that copy of Pokémon Sapphire was years ago. The footage you see right now is being recorded off of a Game Boy player. My character's name is Tom, one of the default options the game gives you, and I'm somehow stuck in the middle of the ocean with 7 badges, a team ranging from Aggron to Castform, and am playing as the fossil remains of someone who had no idea what he was doing. I remember sitting at the kitchen table before dinner, barely being able to make out the screen on that old Game Boy Advance, just clicking around at random, confused by the action commands during battle, and barely being able to read the text on the screen. That's it. That's my entire memory of playing this copy of Pokémon Sapphire, the first Pokemon game that I played myself. I don't remember ever making progress, yet here is the progress that my 6-year-old self was able to make. I wonder where that person is now. The day that I write this script is November 15th, 2020. It's my 24th birthday and 1 o'clock in the morning. It's the first time in my life I haven't cared much for it being my birthday. I remember being in 4th grade, looking forward to my birthday for months. The Wii was coming out on November 19th, just 4 days after I would turn 10. I was heartbroken because my parents weren't able to get one despite how badly I wanted one. Now, there are 100 million of them and you can go buy a used one for $50 anywhere. On the Wii, when I finally got it, I first played Resident Evil 4, 4 Resident Evil Wii Edition, and Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Both games would start a so far lifelong love for both series, one of which, the Fire Emblem affair in particular, has given me a small but wonderful fan base, which is really, really weird to write. It's the first time I've acknowledged in writing that I have fans, and to all of you that watch and listen to my words, I thank you. It means much more than you could imagine. Despite me loving and knowing the Resident Evil and Fire Emblem series much more than Pokemon, Resident Evil 4 and Radiant Dawn don't make me nostalgic. They are a part of my life, and I've returned to them throughout the years. They are a living part of my interests, opinions, and creative work on YouTube. Yet not Pokémon, a game that makes me deeply nostalgic. Pokémon is a series that I have kept up with throughout the years. I've played every new generation. In fact, this video was intended to be a ranking of all 8 Pokémon generations, but I never returned to them. I haven't seriously played Gens 3 or 4 in over a decade. I've watched plenty of videos on them, and I've briefly pulled them out to play only to gently tuck them back away onto my small shelf of Game Boy and DS games. In a way, these games, specifically this copy of Pokémon Sapphire, are a mausoleum to the person I once was, or the people I once was, if my Earthbound video is to be believed. I will never delete this save file, nor will I save the messing around I've been doing here in this video. This save file belongs to someone else, someone who is no longer here, someone who I've taken the place of. This is the save file of a child who has become me, but of whom I have no concrete memory other than small, specific moments that have long passed from everyone else's memory. That child is gone, and this small file is some small record, a small proof that he was once here. One day, I'll be gone too, and so will you. Not in the literal sense of death, although, but one day I will no longer be making these videos, or playing games, or watching the films that I love. One day I'll no longer be with those I love, and so too will you. Maybe your interests will fade. You'll stop watching this channel or other channels that you really like. You slowly fade away from things you currently love into other hobbies, other interests, or living situations that take up more of your time. You'll still be you, just a different you, and one who will have faded memories of these times you're living through right now. These times that can currently feel so boring or vivid or endless will one day be the life of someone far gone, someone you remember but can't quite grasp. I was first introduced to Pokémon around the age of 4, and my cousin who introduced me to Pokémon died at the age of 23. Now I'm 24, older than he ever got to be, yet I will always feel as if I'm looking up to him, as if he's gone on to parts of life that I'll always be chasing. He was in middle school, high school, and college before me. There was a mystique to his life, being an older role model who was young enough to be cool and not old enough to be my parents. He also taught me the alphabet. The words I write and speak today are, in some way, a product of him. It hurts, but I have no choice but to write and speak on these topics over this footage. I actually have a copy of Pokémon Silver that once belonged to him. It's his save file on this cartridge, a small piece of him that can be seen in this game. I turn on the game and it's gone. Gen 2 Pokémon is notorious for its save battery dying, and that problem has swept away millions of hours of people's lives, all of the tiny records of what they spent their leisure time doing and loving. There are undoubtedly people who clicked on this video, probably the vast majority of viewers, thinking that it would be some silly romp making fun of an old Pokémon file. That's what I thought too at the outset of this script. I would dunk on this old save file a bit and then hot take my way through a ranking of all 8 Pokémon gens. In fact, here's a tier list of all the Pokémon generations with only correct answers. Feel free to yell at me in the comments, I know people love the hot takes, and here you go. But this video didn't end up being about that tier list. Maybe one day that video will exist. It probably will exist one day, but for now, these are the words I'm compelled to write when I think about Pokémon. It's really weird actually, because I get many kind comments from people saying they love to hear me speak, or they think my voice is sexy, or that they like my dry sense of humor and goofiness. And while that isn't really here as much, I don't think, I do have to say, to the handful of comments that have said they love listening to me speak for my voice, that is completely shocking to me, because I can't stand listening to my own voice, but at least someone out there appreciates the subtle southern drawl that remains after my natural accent was beat out of me in kindergarten. And of course, there are people that are endlessly annoyed by me. To both of these groups of viewers, part of what I want to do is bring an honesty to discussing games that doesn't really exist in many places, because we aren't talking about games alone, but also ourselves whenever we write or share or discuss any topic around games, whether that be Fire Emblem or Pokémon or otherwise. To be honest about the feelings brought up by our relationship to different games and about the thoughts that keep us up at night, as these thoughts are doing to me, has incredible value. Pokémon always was about that social connection. It was about trading these little shit monsters or the cards, or battling or sharing tips or spreading rumors, like wiggling the D-pad to make catching more reliable. It never fucking worked, yet we all did it anyway because, well, what if it did work? Well, that's it. This video was pretty quick and was the product of about 2-3 hours of total work, simply because I felt compelled to make it. This video's original version, also known as 3 drafts ago, was inspired by Midnight Cowboy's video on the only 10 good Pokemon designs. Watch it, and the link is in the description. This video is part of a series of mini stream of consciousness essays that I do every once in a while. No one really cares for these videos, and I can see why. They're deeply personal, but if you want more, go watch the video I made on Earthbound. It's easily my favorite video I've made up to this point. And thank you for watching, not only this video, but all of my videos if you've watched others. You are all fantastic and the best, and I love all of you, and I will see you all in the next video.